It's the final episode of 2023. The year flew by, didn't it? This installment of the Love in Lebanon podcast features Department of Public Works Director JLawson. After 2 months on the job, we find out how things are going and what changes are in store for the DPW. Jason also shares some new technology being rolled out in city snowplow trucks this winter. Episode 147 of the Love in Lebanon podcast starts now.
Welcome to the Love in Lebanon podcast, highlighting all the great things happening in Lebanon, Indiana. Have an idea for an episode? Send an email to loveinlebanon@lebanon.in.gov.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Love in Lebanon podcast. I'm Joe LePage. I am the City of Lebanon Community Development Director. We've got a lot of fun new staff additions to our city and want to bring in one of the newest additions, but this is not his first rodeo with municipal government. We've got JLawson. He's our Director of Public Works here on the Love in Lebanon podcast. Jason, thanks for sitting down and chatting a little bit. Welcome to the team.
Well, thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be a part of this great team. It's exciting.
And no pressure with the mayor's office right behind me, but things...
Right.
Things been going good so far?
Yeah, so far. So I'm a little over 2 months in, and everybody here was very welcoming. I appreciate that. Been a very smooth transition. I feel very good about it.
And one of the coolest things about you starting with the City of Lebanon was right during ribbon cutting day, where the new street garage out of Mount Zion Road was the ribbon was cut. There was free coffee, all that stuff. Pretty good way to start your
right. As a matter of fact, that was a pretty exciting way to start my second day here with the town. Not everybody gets to cut a ribbon on their second day of employment at a new job. So that was very exciting, and that is a state-of-the-art DPW facility. So it's really nice. City did a great job on that.
And everybody, we'll talk about Jason's experience, but what makes that so cool? What makes that facility so neat? It seems like the one on Lafayette Avenue, everybody, there were a lot of, the vehicles were outside, out in the elements, and it was a really kind of it was an old building that was reused and had served its purpose. But now this one, I mean, this is, like you said, it's state of the art.
It is. It's state of the art. It has a maintenance facility portion of the building. We're able to get every piece of equipment parked inside under roof and out of the weather. This helps. We're even down to snow plows and salt spreaders. I mean, everything is inside and stored, which will help us, maintenance cost wise. And so on and so forth.
Absolutely. And everybody, you might be hearing the phrase, we're going to throw it around a little bit, Department of Public Works or DPW. Jason, you've had more experience, obviously, than I have with this. The city has operated with a street department and an MS4 coordinator. Scott Calvert has been on the podcast before. What exactly is the umbrella of DPW or Department of Public Works if people are hearing that out in the community?
So here at the City of Lebanon, the Department of Public Works, it consists of the street department, the MS4 department, and the stormwater department. Each one of those departments has superintendents now, which is the reason I was, brought in. And an exciting part of this job is, I get to come in, lead that department, and help grow that department over the next several years into what it's going to be at that next level with this, fast-growing city.
So everybody, you might see on the website or have had Dave Newell has been on our podcast as well. Dave is heading up our street department, and Scott, as I mentioned, is the MS4 coordinator. And then you've got kind of the guy that oversees it all and does a lot more with kind of the infrastructure, would you say, with your position with DPW?
So my position with DPW is I oversee the infrastructure at a high level, the operations of the departments at a very high level. I was brought in to handle the 3 to 5 year planning. I work very, very closely with city engineer Kevin Krulik, and I very much appreciate that working relationship. We kind of go hand in hand together. So that's going well, and you'll see us working together on a lot of future high-profile infrastructure projects for the city. So that's exciting.
And it wasn't just the new digs. It wasn't just the new street department garage that was attractive to the City of Lebanon, right? There were other things that made Lebanon, Indiana, kind of attractive to you.
So much like when I started at Whitestown, it was very small, and it was time to grow to that next level, and I was able to help lead that and be a part of that. And I look for the same thing here. And Lebanon is, obviously a lot further along than Whitestown was when I started there. But, with the new addition of, everybody's heard of the new addition of the Eli Lilly project. We've got a new interchange coming. We've got several new apartment buildings. I feel like that growth, and that's going to be, exciting to be a part of all this infrastructure planning and things to lead Lebanon to the future.
Yeah, and some of us who have been here for nearly a decade now, for myself, it's been amazing to see the transformation of the ripple effect from Indianapolis. You mentioned Whitestown from where you were previously. That kind of ripple effect that we're feeling here in Lebanon, it's really starting to pick up steam, and we'll feel like it's going to continue to do so, and even up into Clinton County, and even kind of connecting Indy to Lafayette along those ways. Have you been kind of surprised by the growth, or you guys that do infrastructure stuff, you probably know that a lot of this stuff is coming even before we do?
I'm not really surprised at the growth. I mean, we have, we're located 20 minutes from downtown, right here on I-65. It's a straight shot to Chicago. You've got hundreds of thousands of cars traveling, I-65 every day. They're looking to, and you've got distribution hubs also along that way. So it's just I feel like this is just a great area that is really going to boom.
Absolutely. Everybody, we're talking with JLawson. He is the Director of Public Works for the City of Lebanon, Indiana, here on the Love in Lebanon podcast. We talked about another community to our south in Boone County where you were previously working in the DPW field, but that wasn't your first rodeo either. What is it about this whole infrastructure and kind of laying a foundation with communities that has remained, fun for you to do?
So fresh out of high school, about 2 years out of high school, I started with the town of Brownsburg Street Department.
That was once a smaller town too, right?
Yeah, it was actually.
Not so much anymore.
Right. I think we had 6 guys in the street department there when I started. Now it's a town of like 45,000 people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it grew. I spent, my time there, my 10 years there, basically started at the bottom, moving up through the different departments. I've worked in every department in municipal government. I've got, lengthy experience in utilities, and I loved it. I loved, serving, and, you get to, see what you do every day, and you're always, helping people out. It seems like that's what the job is, and that's just it gives you a good feeling, and you feel a great reward from that.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, and that's on our list of conversation topics, but just the whole people element, in a lot of, kind of private sector jobs, you maybe don't have that interaction where you're seeing members of the public on a daily basis. It seems like this municipal thing is different. You're actually dealing with real people who you interact with on a daily basis.
Right.
You like that?
Yeah, it is. And I, with my time at Brownsburg, as I said, I grew to love that. And I felt like I was at a place where I was ready to go to the next level, and it was going to take me a long time to get there, and an opportunity opened up in Whitestown, so I took my experience there, and was able to, help grow that utility. Had some key players in there with me that are, still there. Danny Powers, he's still there leading that charge, with utilities and infrastructure. So I appreciate that relationship that we had during that time, and
some good memories there. Some good people, good relationships.
Yeah. And so at Whitestown, I got into the role of DPW director there. Mm-hmm. I stayed in that role for 8 years as the town grew. Had 2 different town managers during that time, and a lot of change happened. And I still love the municipal government experience, and moving up the ranks. And so I did 8 years as director of public works there, and then an opportunity came up. The town manager left, so I got an opportunity to step into the town manager role, and that was a real eye-opening experience. You never really know what a town manager does until you are one, and, and it's a very interesting job to say the least, and it was very rewarding as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Everybody, we're talking with JLawson. He is the Director of Public Works for the City of Lebanon here on this episode of the podcast. Now, when you took the job as Director of Public Works here with the city, going in and walking into the new digs, and after cutting that ribbon like you mentioned on the second day, were there things that popped up on your to-do list, or things that you were like, I feel like maybe this is where this portion of the job could be maybe maximized or improved? And
one of the things that I noticed first, Joe, was I noticed the operation there, and the level of service was at an outstanding level, already performing very well. So, and even after 2 months of being there, I still feel the same way. So I don't feel that there's a whole lot of operational changes. I feel like this new team has been put into place with the 3 superintendents, Dave, Scott, and Ryan. We have a great office manager in Lana out there, and now it's just, we cut the ribbon. We've been in there for 2 months, and now it's time to start the future planning and get that public works department to the next level.
And we're talking here on a 50-degree day in December, everybody,
Right.
in Indiana. That's bonkers, right? But we know that the snow and ice are likely coming. And some of the, not only the bells and whistles of a new facility, and if you need a tour, everybody, you can just stop on by or give Lana a call, and I'm sure she'd be happy to show everybody around. But it sounds like there's going to be some tweaks, and we talked about advantage of having a lot of those plow trucks being under roof, being able to be loaded up with salt and all those things. But other new technologies that are going to be employed once those snow plows not only get put on those big trucks, but then roll out to help keep our streets clean this season.
Yeah, so that was one of the things when I got here that the mayor talked to me about, a way that the community could interact with the snowplow drivers and things of that nature. And the mayor had already been working on this project, and I come in at the end of it. It's already set up, and I just get to use it and have fun with it.
That's a pretty good gig. That's good timing. Yeah, good job, James.
The mayor did all the work for me, right? Hey, so we're going to get this thing up and going, and it's software that will actually show. It's interactive map that will actually be able to be posted. It'll show residents will be able to go on there and hover over a plow truck, and it'll show what road it's on, or they could hover a street, and it will tell them, when that road was last plowed, salted, things of that nature. So it's going to help us better track, be more efficient, and plus provide data to folks when they request it.
Oh man, and I'm sure that's going to go over like crazy, like gangbusters here, being able to find out where a snowplow driver is, and as you mentioned, being able to kind of stalk their street, so to speak, of when the plow truck went by and then when it may be coming by again. That's fantastic technology. That's going to happen this year, you said.
Yes, that will be. We're waiting on install currently, but that will go into effect this winter. Yes.
How do they access and be able to do that as like an app, or is it something online?
So this is something that'll be able to be posted to the city's social media pages, to the city's website,
Very cool.
Things like that. So there'll be links that are out there. I'm sure our fantastic public relations department will do a good job of rolling that out like they do everything else. Right, Joe?
He's buttering me up, everybody, because he knows it's coming. But that's going to be such a wonderful tool because, as you mentioned, the legwork done by the mayor and the administration and all the city departments collaborating together. But the whole topic of transparency and being able to give people full disclosure about what's going on, kind of let them behind the curtain. It's why this podcast was created, to be honest, was just to kind of have let's take off the tie and let's just chat a little bit and that type of thing. Has that been refreshing, that whole kind of the transparency of everything?
It really has, and the mayor kind of laid that out for me, and how important that is to him in his office is the transparency aspect. And I just think that this software is just another way to add to that transparency aspect, and it'll allow folks to see what's going on out there in the wintertime, and maybe it'll help them plan their days or when they shovel their driveways and things of that nature, so they're not doing that before we come through with our plows. So I think it'll be a very helpful tool. That's
a great heads up. So people know that. I wasn't even thinking about that, where people may put off or go ahead and shovel their area, knowing what's coming their way thanks to that communication tool.
And we also hope that this could also take it to another level, and the school superintendent can use this as well. He'll be able to go on there, he or she will be able to go on there and see what roads near the schools and things of that nature. So it's an added layer of communication for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
it's great.
Yeah, and have you noticed, and how has it been with your experience, not only with Brownsburg but also Whitestown, the collaboration with the other departments and different entities within town? You mentioned the superintendents with the schools and being able to pass that along to folks within the school corporation, and then being able to track things within our community. From talking, and you talked about how well you collaborate with Kevin up in our engineering office, but have you seen that level of collaboration with other city departments where one side's talking to the other and working together to help kind of solve similar problems and being able to provide outstanding levels of service for residents?
I have. One of the first 3 or 4 weeks I was here, I had my first road closure here, so I was able to go in front of the Board of Works for the first time with a road closure. And I think that's where I saw, I learned the process from Kevin, upstairs in engineering, and learned how the city of Lebanon handles that. And I saw the fire chief, just the level of communication, the fire chief, the police department, the police chief, Boone County Dispatch, the schools, they're all, and several businesses here are on this email. It's just one email that you send out. Everybody gets the information. And how amazing is that? It was just very streamlined and efficient.
That's always been something that has struck me about Lebanon, not having been born and raised here, and I think you're the same way as well, but something that you appreciate in very short order is the level of willingness to be able to communicate. It seems like everyone, for the most part, is on the same team and wanting everyone else to thrive, and that high tide lifting all boats type thing.
That's right. Any access that you can give people want access to their government representatives, and I feel that's important, and we give it to them any way that we can.
Absolutely. And everybody, to that point, if you'd like to get a hold of Jason, I'll put his email info in the body of this podcast. You can drop him a line, welcome him to the city, and also if you have questions about whether it be joining the street department team or learning more about the Department of Public Works, or heck, wanting to take a tour and check out everything and all the great new digs, highly recommend doing that. And all you have to do is click on that email that I'll put in the body of this podcast. So make it easy that way. But Jason, welcome to the team. Thanks for being here on the podcast. Hopefully it was quick and painless and something you wouldn't mind doing again one day.
Absolutely. I think this was fun. And no, I wouldn't mind doing this again. But again, thank you for the opportunity here. I appreciate the opportunity with the City of Lebanon, and I look forward to what's to come.
My pleasure, buddy. And thank you so much for listening, everybody, to this episode of the Lebanon podcast. We look forward to bringing you more episodes in 2024. Take care, everybody.